Hello and welcome back to Mariana in Yucatán. Hello everybody, my name is Mariana Rodriguez and I am a certified real estate agent in Mérida, Yucatán, and also an immigration and property lawyer. I help foreigners and non-locals move to this beautiful state, but in a safe, honest, and legal way. And this channel is an effort to help people understand what the relocation process actually entails, what good real estate opportunities we have in Mérida, Yucatán at the moment, and also a lot of topics regarding residency and immigration changes. Feel free to subscribe and push on notifications to get updates on our weekly videos. Today I wanted to do this video to explain to our future clients and people who are generally moving to Mérida what a relocation process actually involves and why it's important to have both a professional and a local accompany you through this. I'm going to use the example of two dear clients which we helped through the whole relocation process. Recently, they became homeowners in the month of April 2026. And I want to use their example because I feel like it perfectly describes what a real relocation service should include. And I find this topic to be really important because as an immigration lawyer, as my basis, before doing real estate, I had clients, and even happens now, that they come up to me and they say, Mariana, I bought a property 2 years back or 3 years back, for investment purposes or for living purposes, for retirement purposes. But now I want to be able to use it. I'm moving from the States or from Europe or from Canada. And the situation is that because immigration changes from time to time, then maybe, we analyze their case and unfortunately, they're not eligible anymore. This means that at the moment of wanting to sell their property, it's possible that they will not be able to exempt capital gain tax, meaning that they will lose a little bit or a lot on their investment, but also that if you cannot have residency, there's not an assurance that you can enjoy the property year round. And on the other side, we have people who did get the residency, but because of waiting too long, property opportunities or property prices have gone high, and now it's not possible for them to purchase. So, wanting to reach the perfect balance, this video is going to talk about how we helped these two clients who we will call Jane and Vic, and how a relocation service should help you move safely to Yucatán. So we actually came into contact with Jane and Vic the month of September 2025. And I really like that when they came up to me, they kind of already knew what they wanted. Now, if this is not your case, in your relocation process, and our first step is always to help you analyze what you are truly looking for in a property. It's valid to say that you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but through some of the questions and questionnaires that we use, we help you understand a little bit more your intentions. So it's very different if you want a property to invest, like to rent or to do Airbnb, or if you want a property really that is for you to live in or to retire. It's also important to understand how you're planning on purchasing this property or paying for it. You might find that it's important to get a pre-construction deal, or maybe it's better for you to investigate and look into the bank loans, or maybe you're planning on selling your house back home. So this is very important to also establish the way that you're going to be purchasing this property in Mexico. Also to understand, right? Because for example, with bank loans, our interest rates can go from 9 to 12%. So it might not be ideal for you. So it's very important for that. Now, we usually have a Zoom meeting where we talk about these topics. We talk about the purchase process in Mexico, which also is to understand the timelines regarding what we need to do, the documents that you should be preparing, and then understand again what you're looking for. Once we pass this stage, it's always important to be able to come and do a scouting trip, not only to see some of the options for properties, but also to understand how Mérida feels like. You can read a lot about a place, but it's not until you visit and you feel the weather, you see the streets, you see the houses in person. There's nothing like doing that, especially if this is going to be a long-term move for you. So that's exactly what Vic and Jane did. After talking to us, they came and they had their priorities set. We went to see a property and they loved it. But they had to go back home and think about it, which is totally valid. Now, at the same time, after we talked about the property and while they thought about what they wanted and if that was a property that they liked, we had a consulting appointment to talk about residency options. Now, again, as explained before, many clients think that because they buy a property in Mexico, that automatically makes them residents. And unfortunately, that is not true. To become a resident through a property purchase, the sale value of the purchase value of that property has to be at least $500,000. And to be honest, not everybody is willing to pay that on a property. So it's really important to first establish if the money that you're going to be using to purchase that property is actually the money that you need to get residency. So we actually built a strategy around this. We started with the residency process before they used all the money that they had allotted for that to purchase the property. Once we had this strategy straight, then we also put timelines into which part of what months we were going to work on immigration and what months we were going to work on the property. A plus is that because we are also property lawyers, a lot of the things that you usually pay somebody else, like extra when you're buying in Mexico, are already included in your purchase. For example, when you're coming into Mexico and you're going to purchase, you need to pay fees for the notary. I have other videos that talk about those closing costs. But you also tend to need to have a lawyer represent your interests. They will be able to create a strategy for you and also make sure to revise your promissory contract of sale, your final title, to do your bank trust if you're purchasing as a foreigner. So we actually include all that representation at no cost if you purchase through us. So that's exactly what Jane and Vic had included in their purchase. When you're moving to Mexico, you also have other concerns. For example, in the case of Jane and Vic, they wanted to bring their dogs. They had to hire a mover as well to be able to know how to bring their things to Mexico, what to bring, what to leave, and also their car. Because we are in this media, we also have business partners that can help you with this. So what we do as the relocation specialist is that we can give you the numbers of trusted business partners that can help you with insurance, to open up bank accounts, to move your things from your country to Mexico, and to bring your car if needed, among other things. Once Jane and Vic had their Mexican visa at the consulate with our help, then they decided to come in March 2026 to finalize their Mexican residency process, which we actually go in person to finalize with you. Having the residency is just such a peace of mind when you're buying a property because you know that you're going to be able to enjoy it year long. You can actually bring family members through family unit. And there's a lot of benefits of being a resident. Among other things, you can purchase a vehicle, put it under your name. You can open up bank accounts. You have certain discounts. It just makes sense to have these benefits when you're moving to this country, which is now going to be your home. But you might think, well, Mariana, I'm actually going to use that property for Airbnb. Well, the last rules in the last years have actually made it harder for people that don't have residency to do Airbnb in Mexico. And taxes are way higher if you pay as a tourist with Airbnb. So having the residency actually opens up a way to pay less taxes and again, exempts your capital gain tax when you sell. Once Jane and Vic were here, we checked the final title with them before signing, directed them with the last payments, went to the last visit with them, and as new residents in Mexico, they also became new homeowners. A full relocation process has to have all these things into account because moving to another country is not just I'm here and now I'm here. It involves so many things and so many emotions, fears, excitement, questions. All those things are important, valid, and so much easier when you have somebody local and professional that can take you by the hand and help you enjoy this process. I hope that this video helped you understand a little bit more how we work with relocation. And if you are interested in relocating to Mexico, investing, or becoming a resident, we would love to help you. Feel free to click on the WhatsApp link below or leave us a message to be able to start your process as soon as possible. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for our next videos. Remember that these videos are an effort to help you make informed decisions into your new life in Mexico. Until next time, bye-bye.